Nearly 200,000 people in the UK will experience a migraine today.
If you're not in a safe environment when you're having a migraine, it really is one of the worst scenarios you can possibly put yourself in.
At some point in our lives, 1 in 7 of us will have a migraine attack.
The best way I can describe it is it's the worst hangover you've ever had times 10.
For those who suffer the most, their migraines can completely take over their lives.
People are like, only come back into work when you're feeling better, but what if you never really feel better?
Everyone will know someone who has a migraine, and usually it runs in families.
But despite being so common, there's still no cure.
A headache is just a little bit of pain, whereas for me and for a lot of people, a migraine is like visual disturbances, pins and needles, like vomiting. It's so much more than just a headache.
I work in a school as a teacher's assistant, but before that I was an English teacher in Japan. I don't remember a time when I didn't have migraines. At my current job, I've already had so many days off, and at the beginning they didn't really understand. I literally was there and I decided, okay, I'm not going to go when I could feel one coming on. I said I'm going to see if I'm going to stick out for as long as I can. I was in so much pain. They had to like carry me to a room, and I was like vomiting and I was like shaking. I was happy that they could see for what it was.
When people say they have a sore head, they usually mean a tension type of headache, which can be treated with painkillers. A migraine, though, is something different. A severe throbbing at the side of the head that can last for hours or days, and it comes with a range of other symptoms, like a sensitivity to light, sound and smells. The headache during a migraine also gets worse with movement. So it's been a couple of weeks since we first met Nathan, and we're just going to check up on him and see how he's been getting on and coping with his migraines. Hiya. How are you doing? Nice to see you again.
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. How have you been feeling?
Well, the last 2 days have been really hard, but today's been really good, so touch wood, it will stay that way.
And what about work? You're not in the classroom today. What's been going on?
Well, since I last saw you, I had to leave my job, so it's been quite hard, just in general. I think I was getting migraines so frequently and the intensity was so high that it just wasn't fair on like the school, the children I was working with, and like myself really.
And so you're here today. What are you going to be doing?
Today I'm going to sign on, hopefully get some help, look for something new, maybe something a bit easier on myself and something I can actually put more time and effort into.
How are you feeling about not being able to be a teacher anymore?
It's quite sad, to be honest. Teaching is one of my passions, and I don't like having to leave where I was with all the relationships I built to then having to try and find something new just because of my health. It's not ideal, to be honest.
So you got a few forms to fill in, and then I guess see how it goes, see what happens.
Well, that's the plan, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good luck.
All right, thank you so much.
See you later. Cheers. So Nathan's migraines are pretty bad. He is a chronic sufferer, getting about 15 or 20 headaches a month. But we wanted to see what's more typical, so we're going to meet Alice. She gets what's known as episodic migraines. That's a couple of headache days a month.
This is my office. This is where I film all my videos.
Alice is a graphic designer and YouTuber. She's talked about migraines before.
A lot of people say it's just a headache, and that's like my biggest pet peeve in the world.
But today she's doing a shopping haul.
Right, shall I just go whenever? Right. Hey guys, it's Alice again. So today I'm actually going to do a boohoo haul. I know.
What has your journey with migraines been then? When did you start having them?
I think I was about 9 or 10, and they gradually got worse as I went through secondary school, and my GCSEs especially. The stress of GCSEs I think played a part in it too. Super happy with this. I really hope it looks nice when I try it on. I did a video, my migraine experience. I think I filmed it when I was still at uni, and that was like at the peak of them being really bad. So yeah, I'm going to do another one soon, I think, updating, but that original video has been really interesting to hear other people's feedback on how they also experience them, and I'm not alone.
And it is a common problem.
Yeah, there was a lot of people who said, I get this and didn't even realise I get this, or like, my mum has these and I honestly didn't realise how much it affects her. Like, there's been a lot of lovely comments of people like coming together as a community and understanding that a migraine's not just a headache. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. But yeah, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you very, very soon for another one. Bye! Done!
Migraines are very common. They affect 1 in 7 of the population, with women being much more prone to them. So 1 in 4 women suffer with migraines, which is a lot. Often it does start in teenage years. People can have it when they're quite young. So I think the youngest that we've treated is 4 years old, which seems really young to have a migraine. But the most common time for it to start is actually in people's 20s or 30s. So when they're sort of busy working and it starts to really affect their lives.
Well, we're waiting on Nathan. He has text saying that he's pretty weak. He had a migraine overnight and yesterday. So he should be okay and he's going to come. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame. I feel a little bit bad asking him here, but I'm sure he's up for it, so that's good.
Even though it doesn't help his migraines, Nathan loves his motorbike so much he doesn't want to give it up.
Hello.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm alright.
Not feeling too great today?
Well, to be honest, not 100%, to be honest, definitely not 100.
No.
The last few days have been pretty hard. Was it last night, yesterday, day before, and I think day before that, I've just been completely zonked. Hopefully from today it kind of dies off and I'll have a good day today. That's the plan.
Okay, cool. So we're going to do that one?
Yeah, that one's going to be the first one. Follow the light blue ones, they should be easy.
And do you find that this is an activity you can do quite well, despite not feeling very well very often?
Yeah, I find it because you can control like how much you move your body and your head. You can kind of go as slow as you need to. It's not really like, it doesn't really jolt your body too much, which makes it easier for me.
Yeah, and that's one thing about the migraines, isn't it? Oh.
Oh, almost.
Okay, that's actually really hard. Okay, but you go, you demonstrate. Maybe it's better if I ask the questions, you can do the climbing. Yeah, so this is a sport that you can easily do with the migraines, kind of manage it. It's not too strenuous.
No, because you don't have to move your head too much. You kind of go at your own pace. The impact makes a really big difference. Like running sports, if I'm just coming off a migraine or have a migraine, it's really difficult. So I don't think I'll be able to do it.
So do you think your migraines are affecting your mental health?
Yeah, I would say it has, to be honest. When you're always in your own space, in a dark room, in pain, you kind of do feel a certain way. Like, it puts you in like a really dark place. And obviously, you're in pain, the feeling that no one understands you, like the loneliness of it. So you kind of feel isolated as well. So it's a whole cluster of things that doesn't really help anything, which is not nice.
Have you felt depressed at all?
When I'm in that dark space, depression is definitely one of the things you feel. And I think I'm lucky in a way because I can sometimes pull myself out of it. So when I come off a migraine and I'm feeling a little bit better, I try and keep as positive as I can. I try and get out. But to be honest, I didn't think I'd be able to make it today. I tried my hardest today. And even now I'm feeling really tired and like fatigued and a bit dizzy. But it's just have to keep positive and keep pushing yourself. Otherwise, you're just gonna remain in the same place and just remain stagnant, and that's not where you want to be, because then you get yourself stuck in a hole which you can't crawl out of.
Help me go as far as I go, because this is the last attempt.
All right, I'll definitely help. It's all in the toe. It's all in the toe.
Do you know, this is actually really hard, and I'm really impressed Nathan can do this on the back of a migraine. I think this is probably as far as I'm going to get, though.
I've come to meet Emer. Until about 18 months ago, she was working as a civil servant in central London.
Hi, how's it going?
Nice to see you. How
Nice
you
to
doing?
see you. Not too bad, not too bad. How are you?
As her chronic migraines got worse, she made the tough decision to change career.
So this is your home, but it's also where you work, right?
Yes, this is my office now. That's my office over there for the time being. So
Okay.
yeah, got the laptop set up and everything.
So what is
Yeah.
it that you're doing now?
So I'm a freelance writer, is the easiest way to describe it, but I'm doing a couple of different things. I'm ghostwriting for people's memoirs, but then I'm also working for a CV consultancy company, so helping people out with their CVs. So yeah, and it just kind of came to the point where I realised that I had to kind of fit my working life around my migraines because they're just so unpredictable that I need this flexibility now to kind of get up and decide how much I can do in any given day.
It's currently Saturday morning. Instead of doing normal weekend stuff, I woke up with the worst pain on the right side of my head. Just so sore. I feel so sick. And this is probably going to be me for the rest of the day. Just lying here, waiting for the pain to be over.
The biggest thing for me is kind of managing my ambition. So obviously I was always very ambitious, but I've had to kind of learn to redirect that ambition because, you know, the harder I was working, the more unwell I was becoming. It's about being realistic, but also a little bit optimistic as well.
When Emer gets a migraine, she'll take over-the-counter medicines like paracetamol and ibuprofen. She's also taking vitamins and supplements every day to try and help. None of them really work. Alice has had better luck though.
They are so much better than they were. So I started them when I was like 9, and now is the best it's been since I can remember. And I think it's probably down to the fact that I'm now not as stressed. My mum actually spoke to the doctors and we found a correlation between my anxiety and my migraines, and obviously stress is all linked in with that. So we spoke to my doctor and he gave me an anxiety medicine, and ever since then it seemed to have calmed down a little bit. I started taking that towards the end of uni and the frequency of my migraines completely slowed down, so that's helped a lot, which has been nice. And I think I've learned a lot better of being aware of it and making sure I've always got my water bottle with me and making sure I'm eating at the right time and stuff too.
And is there a particular time that the stress seems more, that you got more migraines?
So probably year 10 and 11, I was having up to 5 migraines a month. And actually through one of my exam periods, I had 2 in 1 week. So I was trying to take my exams whilst physically not being able to see because I get visual disturbances and stuff. So stress from uni triggered them again. So yeah, it's definitely kind of situational based. I think I have to be very aware of my stress levels now, and the fact that it affected my education as well, I think shows that it's not just a headache like some people think, and it does affect people a lot.
I can feel migraines starting to come on. So these are my ice packs. Today I've chosen the white one with my ice pill. Alright, I've just taken some medicine, so I'm gonna go lie down before it gets worse and I can't do anything.
There's not really a cure for migraine, unfortunately. We're never going to get rid of it altogether. Regarding things that have been directly made for migraine, there isn't very much out there. Triptans were the first real targeted painkiller for migraines, but regarding preventative medication, until very recently there hasn't been anything made specifically for migraine. So we tend to borrow things from other areas of medicine, so heart medication, anxiety medication, epilepsy medication we use a lot, and there's a 1 in 4 chance that any of the individual preventatives will work. So it can feel quite frustrating to people. They feel a bit like, oh, they're just trying this and they're trying that and nothing's working.
When you get as many migraines as Emer, even basic day-to-day tasks can be a worry, living in constant fear of coming into contact with known triggers.
Noise, smells, lights, anything kind of flashing. It's like there's like wet paint or somebody sprays something or smoke, like just all sorts of different things can really trigger it. So it's kind of, travel's really unpredictable anyway, so it's that unpredictable element that is always something I think about before I go anywhere really. Normally I just feel quite nauseous when I'm on trains anyway, so that kind of, you know, can make it worse sometimes.
Emer's braved the train today because she's off to do something she finds helps her migraines.
Okay, right, I'll take that for you. You're going to put the goggles on? Yeah. Okay, well, good luck. What kind of temperature? Can I just...
Yeah.
Okay, well...
That feels good?
Yeah, it feels great.
Oh, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
It's very cold initially. That's usually the only thing you can kind of pay attention to. But then after you start swimming, you just start to get this buzz and you feel really relaxed. And then that feeling kind of carries over for the next few days. You feel kind of chilled out, relaxed. This is the place I come to kind of reset, to kind of start afresh again, and just get a bit of a break from the pain. You know, how you feel and whether or not you're kind of stressed out or relaxed can really have an impact on your migraines. So this is definitely a good thing to do.
Well done. How are you feeling?
Thank you. Yeah, feeling good. I'm a bit cold, but not as cold as I thought it was going to be. So yeah.
I mean, swimming's all well and good, but only a temporary fix, really.
Yeah, only a temporary fix, and you know, although I'm going to keep doing this, I'm really glad that I'm coming here. I'm kind of hoping for, you know, more targeted support in the future. I'm hoping for more medications that were actually designed to help migraines to come through the NHS. That's what I'm really optimistic about.
So scientifically, what happens when you have a migraine then? Firstly, there's a chemical cascade in the midbrain. This causes problems with nerves in the scalp, which brings on the pain and the headache. Next, cortical spreading depression. It's like an electrical activity which moves across the brain and causes what's known as aura. Aura is the term used to describe the neurological symptoms, and they can be split into visual and non-visual. If people experience the visual aura, they might see things like sparkles or stars, flashing lights, and even experience temporary blindness. Non-visual aura could mean numbness or tingling, pins and needles in the arms and legs, or a feeling of dizziness. Then comes the nausea, and in some cases, vomiting.
Sorry, I'm talking to you with my eyes closed. It's really sore. But yeah, I was just sat in my office doing some work and my eyes started to go fuzzy, and because I've had migraines for a while, I now know what it feels like. So I knew that I was getting a migraine. So I've still got a headache. Like, my headache is now on this side of my head. My eyes aren't fuzzy anymore. I'm just really sensitive to the light and sound. But I'm glad I've not been sick. I think I took my medicine fast enough. I spoke too soon. I think being sick definitely helped. It kind of released some pressure of some sort. I'm not sure how it works, but I've eaten a packet of ready salted crisps and a packet of prawn cocktail crisps because carbs always seem to help me. I'm not sure if that's the same for anyone else. And I'm also eating some bread. Good morning. It is day 2 of the migraine. I'm gonna stay away from cheese and chocolate today because I know that that's a trigger, and in the past I've eaten that on my hangover days, migraine hangover days, and given myself another one, so I'm gonna avoid that for today.
We'd all want there to be a cure for migraine, but it's such a complex problem that targeting one specific substance tends to help some people, but to varying degrees. I think the chance of finding a cure is slim, to be honest.
One of the treatments that works well for some people is Botox, the same injection that's used for cosmetic reasons, but in this case it helps stop the inflammation of nerves in the scalp, which causes the headache. There's also what's known as transcranial magnetic stimulation, which is basically a magnetic pulse going into the back of the head.
It's quite stylish, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. This is their newest model, I know. I think
Rose gold.
A rose gold, yes.
Okay, so I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
Just here?
Yeah, a little bit higher. Yeah, perfect, yeah. Great, that's it. You can place it back into the table. Did you feel anything?
Just a little jolt.
A little jolt, yeah. Some people don't feel anything. Some people literally feel like what they describe as a kind of kickback from the device. And that's exactly the pulse kind of being released.
And so that's the magnetic force.
Exactly, yeah. So it's kind of an electrical pulse that just goes straight through the skull into the brain.
The idea is it interrupts the brain activity associated with migraines.
One of the few drugs that specifically treats people for migraines is called Aimovig, but it's not widely available on the NHS. Here at Guy's and St Thomas's, though, is one of the few clinics that prescribe it for free.
Aimovig came from breakthrough research in understanding the biology of migraine, and what it does is specifically targets one of the protein that causes migraine. So for the first time we have a specific treatment designed for migraine that works really well. These patients were at the end of their line in terms of treatment. They had tried almost everything. So being able to improve the quality of life of patients that for whom there was nothing else to try has been a great satisfaction from our point of view.
And it's significant, isn't it?
In some patients, it is a dramatic improvement. So you can see over a 50-60% reduction in migraine symptoms, which is great from a treatment point of view.
I've invited Emer and Nathan to meet each other and talk about living with chronic migraines.
We're just waiting on Emer, she shouldn't be too long.
Okay.
Oh, hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Oops, sorry.
Would you guys like a tea or coffee or anything?
Oh, I'd love a cup of coffee, please.
Coffee?
Yeah, coffee as well.
Yeah.
If there's any decaf, that would be brilliant.
Decaf, got it. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Nathan.
Hi,
Nice to
sorry,
meet
Emer, nice to meet you.
I'm hoping Emer will be able to offer Nathan some advice on working flexibly.
For me, I kind of just said to myself, right, what are my skills? Obviously, I can't be a civil servant, not in the civil service, but I can write and kind of manage projects. So I kind of just went into freelance writing, and you know, I'm still very new to it, but it's
it's something. Yeah.
It's so hard to know how you're going to feel when you wake up in the morning. So you kind of need that.
And especially for me, in the mornings is probably the hardest time because in the mornings I'm pretty much always in pain, so I can never tell if it's gonna escalate or it's one that's dying off.
Yes.
And it makes it so difficult to choose whether I should try and get up or to continue lying down and just get an ice pack and stay there for another like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Right, that's the decaf.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
There you go.
Oh, thank you.
That's great.
I take it you've caught up on migraines, you've got a kind of similar experience.
Yeah, pretty
I think so, yeah.
It does sound pretty similar.
So what advice would you give to Nathan about managing migraines and working?
So in terms of work, it's kind of thinking to yourself, okay, what is within the realms of possibility? What can I do today? And kind of learning to kind of reframe maybe what success looks like for you.
And you both said that migraines have also affected your mental health.
Yeah, I mean, especially with me, I don't probably with you as well. I find like it really puts me in like a really dark place. Because obviously I get the pain, I'm in a dark room, a dark space, I'm in my head for hours on end.
Yeah, it's like what Nathan said, you're just in a dark place physically on your own in loads of pain, and then you're in a dark place mentally because you just can't escape all of the anxiety that starts to build up when you try and kind of prevent it from happening again, just I think has a really, really negative effect on your mental health.
If it was a headache, I'd be so happy. Because I could continue my daily life. I wouldn't be worried about anything. With a headache, you can pop a few tablets and continue and get through a normal day like everyone else.
Yeah.
I was saying we can't. It just doesn't seem possible.
Yeah, and I'm almost okay with kind of people misunderstanding how severe a migraine attack physically is, but it's kind of like the emotional pain that I just don't think they understand. You know, it's really just kind of had such an impact on me personally that I wish there was a bit more kind of understanding of that, really.